Great job, Antonio Brown. He's a free agent. He did work out with the Saints, I think, last year, but I think he played one game. And this video is titled, Where Do You Want to See Antonio Brown End Up? And this is on ESPN First Take. Stephen A. Smith is going to talk about it. I don't know. I haven't even watched it yet. I'm just freestyling, but here we go.
Stupid and juvenile as he has been, without question, I don't believe he should receive a death sentence. If he's going through the legal process and that stuff is behind him and he's reinserted by the National Football League, I'm not saying that that's where I'm at with it. Having said all of that, shoving that aside, just looking at it purely from a football perspective, I think Russell Wilson could use him, all right?
I agree with that.
I'd love it. Could you imagine him with
Because that locker room with Pete Carroll, they're not going to let him go crazy.
Having those boys with Russell Wilson as a quarterback, obviously that bad man Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers, clearly haven't given him much help. Yeah. It would be nice to see
Packers need another receiver.
That bad man that he is get some help to remind everybody how great he is. But last but not least, what the number one team I pick above them all, I gotta admit this, guys. Could you imagine Antonio Brown back in the AFC North with the Baltimore Ravens? With Lamar Jackson and his abilities to run the
I think his cousin is the receiver, Brown, for the Ravens. So he worked out with Lamar Jackson and his cousin already. So I don't know. Like, I love the Ravens, but I'm a Lamar Jackson fan and everything. But I don't know. The Ravens just got a good team. They might have a missing piece. One receiver might be the missing piece.
Football. He's improving as a thrower. And Antonio Brown talk about being highly motivated, knowing that you're going to play Pittsburgh twice a year. You talk about box office. You talk about box office appeal and really, really attracting eyeballs to.
I see what he's saying. The Ravens and Steelers, that's a great rivalry, man. Big Ben coming back, so they're not gonna get slaughtered. Like, Big Ben don't get slaughtered.
A particular matchup and having a storyline for the entire season. Antonio Brown in the city of Baltimore, set to go against the Pittsburgh Steelers twice a year. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
All right, so you guys bring up a couple good teams. New England won. I don't think they could afford them, Max.
I don't want them to go to New England anyway.
Stephen A., you said a team and it should be at the top of the list. The Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers should be on the phone with AB, figuring out what the league is going to do with his ability to play or right to play or clearance, whatnot. They're Davante Adams, right? Their pass game is Davante Adams. Their second leading receiver was their tailback, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that's not good.
They lose 35 or 40 catches in Geronimo Allison, and
good point.
We all crushed them.
It is Dan Orlovsky. He played quarterback. He played for my Lions for a minute too, so he know the game. He played quarterback.
Lack of weapon that they did not take in the draft in the first or
this
second.
is ranked still since 13, man. Best receiver, man. Receptions first, yards second, touchdowns first, and then targets second.
Round. So their second leading receiver right now is a tailback when it comes to receptions, and their second leading receiver when it comes to that position is Allen Lazard, who had 35 catches last year. You want to tell me how they can right a wrong done this offseason? Sign Antonio Brown. You're going to tell me you put Davante Adams and Antonio Brown on that offense? That is dangerous. And I like the fact that it is a alpha male at quarterback. A quarterback that has seen it and done it and been through it. Because this is my caveat. Like, this is why I don't like the Baltimore one. One, they drafted Devin Duvernay, so he brings that electric speed to the offense. Two, I don't want this young, impressionable. I'm worried that Lamar is going to have someone in his ear all the time. I'm open.
Yeah, but these young receivers, that's what happens when you get a lot of young receivers for sure.
I'm open. Throw it to me. I'm open. Because that is appealing when you get this personality like AB telling a quarterback, hey, throw me the ball. The second team that I would put up there is the San Francisco 49ers. Because
I got the 49ers winning the Super Bowl already. I got them going back, man. Their defense is going to get better. I think they're going to be better.
Samuel has broke his foot. So you're looking at Kittle and a secondary option that they need to throw the football to. Those are my 1 and 2 teams, Green Bay, San Francisco.
Yeah, you should only be looking at teams probably in the NFC that's contenders like those two. Then the Seahawks is good too.
Yeah. Stephen A., if it ain't broke, you know, like they got a good thing with the chemistry and everything down there in Baltimore. And AD has fit in at times and has been okay with chemistry, but at other times has had a deleterious effect on a team's chemistry. I wouldn't mess with it. And I appreciate the Green Bay Packers point, Dan, but that's also like, okay, so Baltimore won 14 games, Green Bay won 13. You know, and their tailback, you know, can also catch passes for sure. Using, you know, has done both. And so he would, of course, as a talent, he improves any team. But the Patriots, while they won 12 games last year, guys, lost their quarterback and have an unproven guy there, and everyone bemoaned their lack of weapons. So there he would be going to a team, not that needs to
Yeah, this is before Cam got signed, y'all. I'm late on this video.
be put over the top, that's already a playoff powerhouse, but a team that he could really help get better, maybe, as opposed to a team where there's a downside.
Several holes in that argument. Number one, if you got to be concerned about Cam Newton in Baltimore, how about going back to a team and a coach that let him go, that's got a young quarterback in Jarrett Stidham, or a guy in Cam Newton that's got something to prove, that can be temperamental himself? I don't like that. Number two, Green Bay, definitely, even though they're on my list, they did win 13 games last year. It wasn't like they were scrubs. So if you're talking about messing up a good thing, some would argue that could be a good thing, even though I would disagree with that, because Aaron Rodgers needs some assistance.
Yeah, they won 13 games, but they was not a 13-win team. Like, you could tell the 49ers destroyed them in the NFC Championship.
Seattle is a big-time option. Guess what? Seattle has got a pretty good situation themselves, but we don't mind them going there. And you know why we don't mind? Because when it comes to
Discipline.
Antonio Brown and his temperamental self, the last thing we need is him being in a losing situation. Because no matter what we've seen from him in the past, he was actually winning when he was causing those problems. He never got an opportunity to win in Oakland because he sabotaged their situation. They would have had a better season with him than without him, without question. And he messed that up. So we know that he needs to be in a relatively successful winning situation. And when you combine that with him, with touching and tinging on his motivation, the bottom line is, what would make him more motivated than to be in the same division as the Pittsburgh Steelers, with a team that's
I agree with that.
favored to be better than the Pittsburgh Steelers? I'm sorry. I don't see anything.
But that's where I would get scared, Stephen A.
perspective. That's number one.
But that individually like, that's what I would get cautious about. It. He'd be so motivated or so focused on beating up on
What about John Harbaugh?
that could have negative
John Harbaugh
impact
can't handle
on
it?
being in a quarterback's ear. Can throw me the ball. I'm not saying Harbaugh.
What
can't.
happened to
I'm
your
saying
faith in John
a
Harbaugh, Dan?
quarterback. Like that's a lot to handle.
First of all,
that's a lot
Wait a
to
minute,
handle
wait
for
a
a
minute.
quarterback.
You've raved about John Harbaugh. You've raved about John Harbaugh for years, Dan Orlovsky.
One of the
How
best
come
in
you
the
ain't
NFL,
raved about him
100%.
now?
But we saw.
All right, well, then what's the problem?
But it's about
It's
the
his team.
quarterback, Stephen A. Because it's about the quarterback.